Approximately 2:37 p.m. Today's date is January 17th, 2002. I'm at Auburn Correctional Facility with inmate Matias Reyes. I'm here because Mr. Reyes has indicated that he is responsible for a crime that was committed back in early part of the last decade, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and that 89, and that he claims that someone else was convicted of that crime and is doing time, and that he is the person responsible for it. I've explained to Mr. Reyes that he is free to leave. This is not an interrogation, it's just an interview. However, I'm going to provide him with his Miranda warnings, and I'll introduce him upon the conclusion of that. Mr. Reyes, you have the right to remain silent and refuse to answer any of my questions. Anything you do say may be used against you in a court of law. As we discuss this matter, you have the right to stop answering my questions at any time that you desire. You have a right to have a lawyer before speaking to me, and to remain silent until you can talk to him. And to have him present when you are being questioned. If you desire a lawyer but you cannot afford one, one will be provided to you without cause. Do you understand each of these rights?
Yeah.
I've explained to you, and now that I've advised you your rights, are you willing to talk to me with regard to the allegation that you provided an officer and a captain with here at Auburn Correctional Facility?
Yeah.
Why don't you, this is Senior Investigator Vern Fonda with the Inspector General's Office, Department of Corrections in Albany. Mr. Reyes, why don't you begin by just explaining to me what's going on and why you have decided to come forward at this time.
Well, I decided to come forward with this situation because of the change of heart that I have had. I know that it's hard for people to understand now, after 12 years, why a person will actually come forward to take responsibility for a crime. I have asked myself that question. At first I was afraid, but at the end of all, I felt that it was definitely the right thing to do.
What crime are we talking about specifically?
We're talking about a rape case that happened in 1989 in Central Park.
What part of 89 do you remember?
Like I stated earlier, I don't remember exactly the date. It's been so long, but I was in the park that day when it happened.
Do you remember if it was summer or winter?
Oh yeah, it was definitely doing. It was close to the summer.
Close to the summer, late spring, early summer.
I'm not gonna say that. Like I said before, I don't remember exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even in my other 5 cases that I have, if somebody was to question me now about them, I don't remember every exact detail because I guess throughout the years I tried hard to either block them out or not even think about them too much.
Okay. With respect to this crime, who's the victim?
It was a female Caucasian. I don't know her name because I know I seen the case in the papers and all that. I don't know her name. I know some of the stuff that she was wearing that day when I attacked her.
Do you know who the person is that was convicted of that crime?
As far as knowing him from the street and things like that.
Yeah. How do you know him?
When I first saw the kid I was in 1989. When I got arrested, I was placed in Brooklyn House.
Okay.
From Brooklyn House, after a while, they shipped me over to NIC. Then from NIC, I was only there for like one night or something. Then they put me in the 4 building. It was called the adolescent building. They were going to put me in a PC house and one upper, but they saw that the dudes were riding up and all that because my case was in the paper also and all that. So they wound up putting me in 1 main. When I got to that house down there, there was this kid named Wise. He was also down there. And 1 main is a big area.
Okay.
With the whole key locks. And so we was in key lock. We were able to come out to the day room and watch TV.
Describe Wise to me.
He's he looks like he's African American.
Okay.
Little dark, not dark skinned, you know.
How old was he
Um,
at the time? This is 89 we're talking
no, I don't
about,
know
right?
exactly what was his age. I know he was in the NS. I'm pretty sure he was in the teens, you know, maybe
Okay.
17, 16, 18. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know exactly his age because we never spoke about ages or anything like that.
Okay.
I just knew that he was down there because of the case in the Central Park case. There was also other guys involved. They got arrested for that. Just like a lot of people have asked me in the last couple of days that why you didn't say something back then. I don't know. You know, why didn't I say something to him? I don't know. I can tell you now why I feel the way I feel today.
Okay.
For me to come in here and say, yeah, I remember every exact thing, I would be lying. And I'm not out to lie. I'm not out to make a big thing out of this. It's just that I want people to take a look at this and actually, you know, listen to what I have to say, and then hopefully from there they investigate and come up with, you know.
Okay. Where is Wise now?
Wise is in this facility, over in correctional.
He's here at Auburn also?
Yeah.
Have you talked to him at all about this?
No, I didn't.
Since you've been here?
No. As I stated to the first officer that I spoke to, it started like this. I came to this facility in May, and pretty much everything was going, in the 10 years that I've been in the state, everything's been going pretty decent for me. I have learned, I went to school, I took certain programs, and I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it has. And it hasn't. I came to this facility, started going to school, started going to programs, started going to religious services. I turned my life over to Christ. I'm not trying to bring religious into this. I'm not trying to make a propaganda about the religion. I'm just trying to say that for me, it was that thing that I needed in my life at that point. After a while, I bumped into him in the yard, and I just felt this pain in my heart, where, you know, how can you keep this person in jail so long? You know what I'm saying? I wanted so bad to approach him and to speak to him and to tell him that it was me that did the crime he's in jail for, that if he could forgive me. But there was a thing in the back of my head saying, you don't know what this kid has gone through in 12 years of his life. You know, you don't know if anyone in his family has passed away. You don't know what frame of mind is in. I spoke to certain individuals in the yard about that there's a crime that I that I did a lot of years ago. How will a person go about it to tell somebody something about it? A lot of people gave me different advices. A lot of people, some people told me that forget about it. He might not be in jail for that, but he might be in jail. I mean, he might have not convicted. He might have not done that crime, but he might have done other things in his past, you know, and maybe God is punishing him now. I refuse to believe that, you know. I kept asking other people questions. Other people was telling me, "You sure you want to do this? Are you willing to go all the way? Or the repercussions or whatever happened with this whole thing? So you know that people is going to question you and they're going to research." And I just took every little piece of advice that everyone gave me, and it always seemed to be not one that would actually help me and motivate me. It was either one to either back down, to forget about it, to be bold, you know what I'm saying? You know, a gangster won't think like that, all types of different things. And so I didn't approach him. I go to a religious service at Tuesday nights called Truly Alive, and one of the first person I spoke to was the father. I told him about that there was a crime I did a lot of years ago, and I didn't know what to do. It was stressing me out. I also went to mental health and spoke to somebody a little bit that something was bothering me. But the first thing that they thought was that I was trying to hurt myself, because I wrote a letter. They didn't answer me. Then I wrote a letter to the head administrator of the hospital. I didn't get an answer. So next thing you know, I told the officer said they're going to see you sometime next week. I was stressing so much because I kept thinking about the same thing that I said, you know what, let me just speak to the officer again. I told the officer, what do a person have to do to actually see someone in mental health? I don't want no medication. I don't need no medication. I'm not crazy. I just need to speak to somebody. It's an issue that is stressing me out. Do a person actually have to hurt themselves or something like that to do something? So they wound up taking me over there anyway, to make a long story short. And none of them gave me a good advice neither. Finally, I spoke to an officer in my company. He seemed like he was interested in actually helping me out. And they just told me that someone was going to come see me.
Okay. Going back to 1989, and we all know why you and I both know why we're here today, but going back to 1989, what specifically do you remember about the incident that happened that day or that night or whenever it was?
Okay, I came into the, I got, you know, because people's gonna actually wonder, you know what I'm saying, about the park and things like that. I was familiar with that park for a lot of years. I mean, when I used to live, I lived in Manhattan on 102nd Street and 2nd Avenue, and the park was in 5th Avenue. And I always used to go there when I used to run away from home, stressing me out. I used to rob. I did a lot, in my young days, I did a lot of burglaries in there, especially in this area called the Reservoir in the park. And I stole a lot of Walkmans and all that when I was young in there too. I also raped another girl there in that park. I believe they charged me with one of those. Well, one day I went into the park, and
You by yourself?
yeah, I'm by myself, totally by myself.
Okay.
And I've been in there for about a while, just strolling around, looking around. I see this lady. She's got a Walkman on, Sony Walkman, and she got some black, I don't know, they're kind of tights, but I forgot what they call. Spandex, something like that.
Okay.
And she's jogging across the big part of the park, the big area where the cars and all that go through. And she hit this little section, and she makes a turn. And I jog right behind her. I pick up, and she like close to I will have to actually write it down for you to see exactly how many. It's like a little intersection which you make a turn. She's jogging down. It's real dark. I see a piece of wood, piece of lumber on the corner of the, I don't know if it was tree or something. It was definitely wood. And I pick it up. When I get close to her, behind her, I struck her from behind. Head in the head, back of her head. She fell down. After she fell down, I throw the piece of wood. I drag her into the bushes. If the section is like this, like I told you, I drag her towards the right.
Okay.
You know? And as I'm in there, I violate her, rape her, and after I'm finished, she's struggling, and I beat her with a rock.
Was she conscious when you left?
Oh, wow! Now that I remember, she was all bloody.
No one else was in the park or in that section of the park? Nobody heard?
Oh, that was, you know, that's what, you know, looking back to how, you know, to the kids they got accused for it, all that, I don't understand, because during that whole time, I didn't hear anybody. And just to give you an example about how this area was at that time, that little area, when I was finished and I walked back out to where I first struck her with a piece of stick, the headphones, it was a piece of headphone, Walkman, it's Sony. It's AM/FM headphones. And they were laying on the street still. I picked them up and I left. As I left, I'm going back to the 102nd entrance to the park. There's a police car, but it's like detective one. It's a taxi cab. It's a yellow one. There's a detective in there. I recognize him because he walks around the park a lot. His name, we used to call him around the block was Blondie because he couldn't fool anybody. He was a blonde-headed guy. And he asked me, he actually stopped me. There's commotions in the park. And next thing you know, he tells me, where you coming from? I lied. I told him that I was coming from the west side, because the west side is on the other side of the park. And I told him that I just come from my girl's house. We ain't had no girl over there. And next thing you know, he didn't stop me nothing. He didn't question me too much or nothing. He told me, yo, you hear commotion in the park? Yeah, it sounds like nosy. I was like noise out there, but next thing you know, I just kept walking. He went in the park. I know that this is probably not much to go on and all that, but I'm not gonna sit here for a long time and make up stuff. I don't remember a lot of it. I don't remember exactly the exact date. I mean, I got 5 cases I'm arrested for. If you was to ask me right now the dates of every single case that I did, I don't remember. I know they were pretty close in months, but or in days or whatever. But you know, I remember exactly where it happened. You know.
You were on the street in '89.
Yeah, I was out there in '89.
How old were you in '89?
In '89, when that case happened, I don't think I was 18 yet.
What's your birthday? Do you remember, I mean, you remember that she had headphones, and you're even pretty specific that they were Sony headphones, AM/FM headphones.
Yeah.
Do you remember what color her hair was? She was white?
She was definitely white.
Was she big? Was she small?
I know she was, I think she might have been close to my height, or probably a little higher. I don't know. I mean,
You about 5'8"?
Yeah, I'm 5'8". Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She definitely had, I was...
Shoulder length hair, short hair?
It was... I don't even want to guess, but I'm going to say it was...
Was she a teenager? Was she in her 20s? Was she in her 30s?
I don't know. I think she was probably like somewhere in the 20s. I don't know exactly what 20s, but she was probably in the middle 20s or later 20s. You know.
Okay.
She was a woman already. You know.
You hit her with a rock?
Yeah.
Stone? Big stone?
Yeah, it was pretty big. I remember I grabbed it with both hands.
As big as this tape recorder or bigger?
I think it might have been bigger than that.
And you hit her once with the rock?
No. It was. I just went off. I went off. I hit her a lot of times. I mean, I heard bones crushing and things like that.
There was nobody else in the area, nobody else?
No.
When you came out of the bushes and you walked back up?
This is what I understand. Even when I came out, this is a pretty long distance from the intersection where the cop stopped me to where I left at. That's a pretty long walk. And in all that area, nobody sees me. This is the most bizarre thing that strikes me. I don't know much about the case, and I'm not gonna lie that I know about the case, and I'm not gonna lie to whoever listens to this tape that I remember every single detail. I'm not out here to take credit for this for nothing. You know, it hurts me that the relative of this woman will have to live through all this. That she will actually have to live through all this. I don't know if she actually ever got her memory back or anything like that. Because I heard that even in the news, I remember that much. That even in the paper, they had to put her in the hospital, and she went through a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how she is about now. I hope to God that her life is a lot better now. I mean, a lot of times you can't tell people you're sorry because sorry doesn't heal anything. It's a hard thing to actually relive and all this other stuff. But I learned one thing that I learned throughout the years, that sometimes it's better to say the truth even if it hurts and just to keep quiet.
How many times did you rape her?
I think it was just once.
Just once? And what kind of rape was it? Was it oral? Was it vaginal? Was it anal? Was it...
Oral is vagina, right?
Oral is with your mouth.
No, it wasn't no oral. There was definitely. There was
vaginal.
Because I smelled, because when I was raping her, I smelled the blood. She was bleeding at that time from the blow.
Was she conscious?
From the blow. I think she was
during the rape.
She was struggling. She was struggling. She was in pain because the blow was pretty hard because she, you know.
Was she able to say anything?
It's like if you're jogging like this and you get struck like this from the back, you know. She hit the floor hard. I think she was saying no. She was saying there was a lot of things she was saying. Um, looking back now to even everything that I've done, it was definitely bizarre. I mean,
Did you complete the rape?
yeah.
You ejaculated inside her?
I think that I did. If there was, I'm pretty sure that I did, because in all my cases I did. So I'm thinking pretty much that I did. I wish, I was over the weeks. I've been thinking out, and I wanted to try to remember everything, to try to bring better and clear details to make it easier for the district attorney and whoever takes this case.
You talk about 5 other cases that you're doing time for now.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of those cases occur in the park? Any of those other cases?
It's funny. It's funny you say this because there was another case that I did in the park. I got 5 cases I got arrested for, and I can't remember the 5th one, right? This is funny. This is one of the things that in the Mel Cooper program they were stressed about, because I told them about 4, and then Mr. Hayden said, what's up with the 5th one? And he caught me off guard. I remember about the woman that was murdered. I remember exactly what street it was. It was in 97th Street. There was another one in 116. There was another one in between 95th and 96th and Madison Avenue. And there was another one in somewhere in the 90s between Lexington and 3rd. Now, I don't have none of my paperwork for my cases throughout there. I never put in I wasn't interested in appeals or nothing like that. I didn't want to have none of those paperwork. You know what I'm saying? I felt that I accepted the responsibility, took the time. But I don't know what's the 5th case. I don't know if you've seen it in my paperwork, but there was a girl that I made close to the Central Park pool.
And you think that may be the 5th case?
I'm thinking that's if it's not, then I just put my foot in the I forget what they say that is, but I'm not gonna lie. Maybe you've seen my paperwork. I don't know what's the 5th one at.
Okay.
But they're definitely charging me with the 5th one there. I'm not saying that I do. I know they just to tell you the truth about everything. All these things I've done. You know what I'm saying? All those cases that I was convicted for and all that. And I had a better, clear view back in 1989 when I made my video statement and all that. I mean, it wasn't hard for the detectives or nothing, because I was like a little pigeon just wanted to jab away. It felt kind of good afterwards and all that to say everything. I wish that I could remember more, sadly. But I'm just hoping that there's some type of DNA match. And I wish, somebody would speak to to the people that got arrested for this and ask them, I don't understand if any, the first thing I even spoke to the officer in the company. I told him, why would this kid make a video statement against himself if he didn't do the case, if he didn't do the crime? All this thing went through my mind, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not only thinking about how these people are going to go about this, but I'm also thinking about why would these people want to say nothing in 12 years? You know what I'm saying?
How do you know that the crime that you're describing is the crime that he's convicted of and responsible for? How do you know that there wasn't?
It was all over the paper. I think Op shot in that big blabbermouth or whatever. He got involved in all that. It was all over the
Al
news.
Sharpton?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, how do you know that there wasn't another victim in that crime, and that maybe he's doing time for what?
Then you got me. You know what? Then you got me there. You got me there as far as if I know that there was. Then you know what? Then what happened with the victim that I heard that I raped and beat up in that park?
I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm just putting that out there as to.
Okay.
I'm trying to find out how you're certain that the woman that you're talking about in this case is the same woman.
Let me just say this.
Okay.
Let me cut you off, but I'm positive. I know this is not possible, but I wish that technology was so advanced now today where you could just put your hand on a screen and your whole life, and they could see your whole life. and they see that I'm not telling a lie. But
did you recognize her? Did you see her on the news and recognize her as the person that?
I didn't have to recognize her, because once they took the guys into the park, it was you know, and they were showing them the scene of the area, and they were showing the scenes and the news and all that. You know, I knew it. I mean,
okay.
I didn't have to actually see her personally or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was there.
Okay.
I smelled that blood. You know what I'm saying? I heard her badly. You know, I mean, this is not, you know. It was devastating. It was bizarre. It was ugly. It was, you know, for 12 years I always took I think I have been one of my own worst critics. You know what I'm saying? I hated myself for a lot of years. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a long time to actually to feel a little human, man. You know, people today will actually say, well, you ain't human. But you know, I'm to the point where I'm tired. I'm tired beating myself up. I'm tired actually. If I got to spend the rest of my life in here, then, you know, I want to try to do something. I want to be able to speak out to people and tell them about the things that I've done. Maybe hopefully they could learn something from all this, you know, but I can't do this because I haven't been totally honest with myself as far as that I'm holding inside. You know, I'm going to give you another example. That's the other thing, you know, that I didn't want to speak about, you know. The reason I'm telling this out now is because I don't have no other choice but to trust someone. You know, I want to let all these different things. I haven't, you know, I don't understand why she's not, you know. Maybe she will never forgive me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things. You know, there's a lot of things that happen in my childhood and all that. And I ain't telling no one. The reason I'm talking about it, because I don't want them to think that I'm trying to make an excuse of what happened in my past. Because of that, I turned out the way that I am. No. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what we do, and we know a high conscience we have. I know that my life has been bizarre. It's the type of thing that you probably hear out of a book or out of a story or something. You know what I'm saying? I know it wasn't a beautiful life. But no one can take away all the things that I have accomplished in the 12 years that I've been here. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of my bid, I had, you know, I know what it felt to get spit at, to get, you know what I'm saying, to get beat up by the staff, all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying, for the things that I've done. I experienced all that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't bring it up. I didn't press charges against them, none of that. Because I took it as something that just go along with who, you know, with a person when they do something like that. And little by little throughout the years, I saw people changing. You know, I saw people looking at me totally different. People wanting to help me. I had even a couple of girls come up from all that, and I told them about who I was and all that. And they're still there, and they kept, you know, I was like, oh, I can't believe this girl's actually still talking to me. I told all this crazy stuff. And that made me believe that a person could actually change. And I felt that I have turned over a new leaf. I don't care, you know, I'm not trying to impress the district attorney or anyone out there. I just want them to try to actually help me to do something right. You know?
Okay.
I'm sorry about my anger.
That's okay.
I'm just tired, you know.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to conclude the tape at this time. I think this is just a preliminary portion of this investigation. Mm-hmm. I'm going to share this tape with the district attorney's office in New York and hopefully talk to the persons involved in the prosecutions of the both your case and this individual Wise and see where.
I think my case is already.
Well, no. The only reason I'm going to speak to them is just so that everybody knows exactly what we're talking about here and they're familiar with.
Well, you said this tape is going to the head district attorney, right?
This is going to go down to the DA's office. You know,
I just want to tell him that I'm not trying to waste his time. I know people don't like to hear sorry because sorry doesn't always heal anything. But, you know, I regret real badly that I didn't approach whoever was in charge back then of district attorney, things like that. I'm sorry that I didn't approach them earlier in my life.
You acted on your own in this particular crime, right? You were by yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it just coincidentally, these people were out there doing these other things, The same night that you...
This is what I'm thinking, because I was young out there, and I did a lot of things in my neighborhood with kids and all that, where we went down. Even at Halloween, we used to leave our neighborhoods and go downtown to where all the stores and all that were, and burgerize and dumb,
Silver and Fonda were still involved in the interview with Mr. Reyes. The first tape concluded, and we've started a second tape. And we're going to pick up our conversation right where we left off regarding the fact that it may have been just coincidence that the night that he's alleging he committed this crime was the same night that these other individuals, and Mr. Wise included, were doing whatever they were doing down in Central Park at the same time. So we're briefly just going to wrap up Mr. Reyes' statement.
Yeah, like I was just saying, to the district attorney, is that, I regret that I didn't come forward a lot of years earlier. I don't know if it was fear. I don't know if it was just concern. But all I can tell you is that I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to. There's no possible thing that I can gain from this. I'm not trying to gain anything whatsoever from it. I just think that it's the right thing to do. It doesn't matter if it would have been 15 or 20 years from now. The point is that a person come forward and is willing to actually accept the fact of something that he has done and take responsibility for it. I'm pretty sure that once you look deeper into this, and you speak to whoever it is, the lawyers and everybody, once y'all get involved and look at the situation, y'all will realize that that this is the truth. I think that the victim deserves this. I think that our family deserves this. I think that it's not right for a person to be in jail for something that he hasn't done, no matter how bad a person could be. I'm not saying that the kid or those kids was like that. I'm just saying that no one whatsoever likes to get punished for something that they haven't done.
Has he ever said that to you? I didn't do this crime?
No. I mean...
I'm talking about Mr. Wise now.
Yeah, like
when you were we were together down in the Brooklyn House or Rikers Island?
We never got to speak much about the case and things like that.
So he's never said to you in any of your conversations with him, whether they were 12 years ago or they were since you've been together here at Auburn?
Well, together here, the only thing that I actually said to him when I approached him was I apologized to him because I wanted to make amends to him because we got into a fight in that same house back in 1989 where we was at. Like I said to you before earlier, I didn't approach him in a way to speak to him about the case because I don't know what would have been his reaction.
What was the fight about in '89?
Probably about some dumb stuff. Probably about the TV or could have been something about
something minor. It had nothing to do with it.
No, it ain't had nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Okay.
I don't know these guys from the street. Never met them in the street whatsoever. When I did the crime against the woman I raped and beat badly with the rock, there was no one around there. It was like the perfect crime. The reason I said that because I got away, and not until 12 years now, someone actually. Yeah, I'm actually going forward and telling someone about it.
Okay. At a future date, obviously, once we share this information with the proper authorities, they're probably going to want to talk to you themselves. And do you have any problem with,
Well, even if I had a problem with it, which I don't, because obviously, if I went this far, I'm going all the way with it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely the right thing to do. I'm not, like I said before. I was surprised you read the memorandums to me because I have no objection about this. From the day one, this is me coming forward, asking, screaming out.
And understood, but this is the first time you and I have ever met,
yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that you understand that I'm not here to get any information from you that you're not willing to provide. And that was the whole purpose of doing that.
You was the gentleman from the get-go and explained to me how everything goes down. But it's like I want to make sure that people understand that I'm not here to actually give y'all a negative excuse or trying to get attention or nothing, because I definitely don't want this attention. I hope that it doesn't. I hope that it doesn't get blown up. You know what I'm saying? Too much. I just hope that I hope that things just go and they look into it and hopefully everything match up and something gets done about it. Like I told the officer that I spoke to, he was kind of scared because he said, "Listen, man, if you lying to me, I can get in a lot of trouble behind it." I said, "Listen, I'm not trying to. Believe me, once they look into all this other stuff, and if they have anything, I'm pretty sure they picked up. I mean, cops, detectives, and people are pretty smart. They have that job for a reason. People make mistakes. I'm pretty sure. I didn't wear no gloves. I mean, there's got to be some type of fingerprints, whether it was in our clothes, or whether it was on the rock, or whether it was on a piece of stick, wherever it was at. You know what I'm saying? Now that I remember too, there was a little black wallet she had too with a key. Little things, it's like a little small purse. You got the Berko on it. You just put one key or something on it. Remember that. I don't know about tossed. I don't know what I did with that too much, but it's probably how apartment keys or something. But sorry to this attorney, I don't remember everything in details. But I'll maybe just look into it. Check the DNA if there was any DNA on. Check the fingerprints if there was any fingerprints on. And that, then match it to mine. And then if it matches, then let me know what you're gonna do, and then from there, that's what I can say. I'm not lying to y'all. I'm sorry that I didn't say something before, and thank you for actually coming forward and help me out with this issue.
All right, I'm going to conclude the tape at this time, and throughout the tape, you've had the ability to end this, to get up, walk out of your own free will. You're not here on any kind of custodial, no interrogation. You understand that, I understand that, and all right, that being said, I'm going to stop the tape at this time. It's about 3:15, once again on January 17th, 2002. Senior Investigator Vern Fonda interviewing Matias Reyes.